welcome back to The Reading Mama. My name is Heather, and I am a mama of 8 who reads very eclectically. Been leaning into fantasy and YA lately, but I read a little bit of everything except horror. So I'm going to share with you today my mood reading of physical books. So there is a readathon going on this month called In a Summer Jam. And it's basically you just read whatever you want to read. And the first 9 books you read, you fill in the bingo board as you go and you answer questions about them. So that's what I'm going to do for you. And I actually have almost all of them. Only one was a library book. Well, one is a library book that went back. So first up is How Should We Then Live? This was a nonfiction and I did not enjoy it. Okay, I did like it. Obviously, I found a lot of good quotes. But it was something that, it was just not the right time for me to be reading this. This like gives you an art history lesson and goes through art history, political, theological history from like the beginning of time to now. Wow, when it was written in like the 80s. And I think it has a lot of good thought. It was just not something I was mentally prepared for right now. So it's going back on the shelf. I did finish it, but it's going back on the shelf until I can give it more attention. And I'm supposed to share a quote, and I have a whole bunch that I think were just phenomenal from this. But I'm gonna let's just go to the last quote I marked in here, because all the rest of them, I did like audiobook for the last half, so I don't have those marked. So let's go to the last one here. It says, maybe not that one. Today, not only in philosophy, but in politics, government, and individual morality, our generation sees solutions in terms of synthesis and not absolutes. When this happens, truth, as people had always thought of truth, has died. That, among other things, kind of gives you an insight to what you're going. It is higher level. I was not prepared for it, especially after doing a lot of fantasy and YA, like I said. But I do think it has a place. I think it has a lot of good information, and it comes from a Christian worldview. Really do appreciate that. But I digress. It was not the time for that. Sorry, I think I have a delivery being dropped. Next, I finished Rune by Victoria McCombs, which is a historical fantasy. So imagine a Norway, but the gods are real. So you have Odin and all of them, and Asgard. And in this story, so it says, what is the exact moment in this book where you felt it really hooked you and made you want to keep reading? That's tricky. So in here we have Rune, who is the second of 6 daughters, and she's got some health issues. Her first is blessed by Odin. She's goddess divine, just beautiful. Everybody loves her. She can do everything. She's an amazing Viking. Rune is second fiddle, literally. Okay, not literally, and so things are just not going her way. And she's been okay with that. And she asked for one thing and it doesn't happen. And she gets, it's a lot of betrayal all at once. And then she gets kidnapped and taken to Asgard. And so I think the moment that I really got hooked was probably at the very beginning, when she was betrayed, because it was so heart-wrenching and it actually really shocked me. I mean, I didn't think it was going to go a certain way, but when the betrayal comes, it was like, whoa, that was harsh. So, but throughout the book, I just loved it. I loved the focus on her learning to accept who she is, and that's okay. She doesn't have to be a specific image that is projected, but she can just be herself. I really appreciated it, and really loved it. That leads me to book 3, which is another dark YA fantasy. Because I will say this is very heavy, it's got some graphic violence because they're Vikings, but very heavy. But it is clean, no swears, no smut. Then I read Ocean of Ink, which is a dark fantasy, romantasy, if you want to call it that. It is a little more YA. I'd say more new adult because they're 1920. And in this one, we are set in a fantastical world where the main character, Ren, has recently lost her brother in a horrifying accident, and she decides to go off to the academy where he had been attending and then murdered, and find vengeance, solve what happened and find vengeance. And she has a really dark past, a lot of heavy concepts. If you are not, check the trigger warnings. You can actually email Anna Conwell and get the trigger warnings, so that way you know ahead of if you want more specifics than she gives at the beginning, because I do want to offer this with caution, okay? But I love books that are heavy and devastating. So I enjoyed it. It's also pretty short. It was really good. The prompt is this book your favorite genre? I love fantasy. And then it says, or something out of your comfort zone. Did it surprise you in any way? Did it surprise me? I did. I was surprised how much I loved it because this is an indie author that I hadn't heard from, and I really did love it. And then the fourth book I finished was the sequel because it's a duology. It's Hides the Secrets, which continues the story of Ren and Castian, who is also... he's the love interest, obviously. And let's see what the prompt is here. I'm not going to give you anything other than it continues the story because you really need to read book one. It is a quick duology. I think I finished it in a weekend. Phenomenal, heavy. Take that with a grain of salt. Book four, what does it say? What is the first sentence of this book and did it make you want to keep reading? Ooh, that's a good question. So something, fear was the worst of adversaries. It's pretty good, compelling one, especially if you read book one and you know where it left off. So, very good. Book five was, hello, I get to tell you anything about it. I read Suspended in the Stars by E.A. Hendricks, and after the first 100 pages, I loved it so much that I immediately bought the rest of the series, which, it's way up there. I can't reach it. But I just bought it and it came in, and so I'm so excited. So once I get through a couple of books I'm in the middle of, I'm picking it back up. But she advertises it as like Greatest Showman because it's a circus in space. So we have YA romance, sci-fi, space opera. That's what I'm going to call it. And you're following Callie, and you follow, why can't I think of what his name is? Renner. Thank you. I knew it was an R. And she had me hooked at the very beginning because she says something about, it says, and to Gene Roddenberry, Captain Picard, and the rest of Star Trek, the Next Generation crew, you shaped my imagination from a young age with the exploration of different worlds and people groups. Suspended in the Stars was born from that experience. And my father was a Trekkie, and I didn't love it as much as he does, but now that he's gone, I have been revisiting all my sci-fi roots, and I absolutely love that. And I was a Voyager girly, but I also did watch Next Gen with my dad, and Babylon 5, and I'm getting off topic, but I really enjoyed it. They travel to different planets. There's a sort of questy like atmosphere going on. A lot of things going really fast. It's very fast paced. I like the characters. I like the banter. It was very enjoyable. Really shocking ending, given all the things, and really interesting points that, like, when it culminates, it's like, oh, that was deeper than I thought it was going to go. So I'm excited to continue the series. Book 6 that I finished, I don't have here. I will put a picture here. Edge of Defiance by Kyla Stone, which is, I don't know what number book. It's in the Edge of Collapse series, which is a dystopian series, which I talk about in my other mood reading where I did audiobooks, because I did the first 4 audiobook, then I did the rest. The rest I'm doing physical because my library finally got them in. So Edge of Defiance is a dystopian novel written in multiple points of view. An EMP has taken out the electricity grid and anything electrical in all of the United States. And the world is going, well, we don't really know what's going on in the rest of the world. But here in America, especially in the Midwest where I live, is going crazy. So Edge of Defiance goes on with the story, and I really can't tell you too much because it would be spoilery for all the rest of the series. But let's see what the prompt says. So it says, what are the best things about this book? What did the author do well? The writing style, the plot. The plot is phenomenal. I usually kind of struggle with long series and multiple points of view because, you know, you start to like some better than others. And I get that sometimes with this, but in general, unless it's the villain's point of view, I absolutely love the points of view. And there's some that I like better than others, obviously. But I really do like the way that she does it. And I think she balances it really well. And obviously I love the series because I'm continuing it. I actually have the very last book in the other room because I'm starting to read it. And then 7 was Edge of Survival, which is book 6 continues the story from a different point of view, kind of. And I liked this one because it had Hoosiers in it, and we were really well represented by them. So continues the story. Prompt says, how long has this book been on your TBR? Like a week, maybe a month. And how do I feel now that I read it? I love it, and I can't wait to finish the series. I'm excited. Book 8 is my mammoth. I finally finished Count of Monte Cristo, and I absolutely love it. I'm not going to give you the details, because if you don't know what Count of Monte Cristo is at this point, you're living under a rock. But did the description of what was inside this book. If by description you mean the Hollywood movie with Jim Caviezel, no, it did not. The book was far superior. Absolutely phenomenal. Did it give too much away? I don't know, cause not really, because the book is so different. And I started to watch the PBS version, and I cannot stay up at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night. My brain, I fell asleep every time, so I didn't watch the miniseries. So I don't know how that one lives up to it, but this was phenomenal. It was beyond my dreams of what I thought it was going to be. And finally, I have book 2 in M.M. Lyon, which I know, I'm dragging my feet. If you haven't been, she writes her journals, and they're hilarious and witty. And it says, what is my character's talent, gift, or superpower in this book? How do you think it would hold up in the Miss America pageant? Again, I still don't know what that means, because all I know about Miss America is from Miss Congeniality. But I would say that M.M. Lyon, her talent is wit and perseverance. And I'm absolutely loving it. Can't wait to continue the series. Book 1 was like, I was like, oh, why is this so popular? But somebody told me, pretend it's like a prologue, then continue with her journals and her life of dealing with some devastation from financially and learning to live on her own 2 feet. It's very interesting. Love it. I know that there's some romance things coming up in the other books, but so far I feel like it's very downplayed, very fun, very witty. I just sat on the porch last night, read almost the entire thing in one sitting, because it's very short, and I absolutely love it. How would it hold up to Miss America? Based on Miss Congeniality, I think it did great, because she's quick on her feet, she's witty, she's beautiful, she's got her aunt funding her clothes, so she'd probably do well with that. But that's what's going on. That was my end of summer jams physical books. If you want to see my audiobooks, I will put a link. But I absolutely have enjoyed this particular prompt set, and I have enjoyed my 9 physical books that I finished so far. We'll see how many I finished by the end of the month. But 9 physical books in 1 month, and like a bazillion audiobooks is pretty good. So thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.